Hi everyone. So, fat shaming, what is it? Where did it come from? And why do we still do it? I've got Kim, my lovely partner from Body Image Fitness, and you've read a quite shocking article which a lot of people are commenting on, agreeing about how fat shaming is important.
Yeah, it is a very recent article in the Times entitled "Fat Shaming is the Only Way to Beat the Obesity Crisis." And it's very shocking in a lot of the language that the journalist uses. And, it's basically comparing people that are in larger bodies to the shame that we put on people that smoke or drink drivers even. And they, the journalist points out that why is it socially acceptable to shame smokers and drink drivers and not fat people, which I think is outrageous, is an outrageous thing to say.
Where did fat shaming even come from?
Well, there's a lot of history to it, actually, if you date back, and it actually has quite racist roots. It's this sort of whole hierarchy of the thin white man being at the top of the sort of pecking order. And back in the day when, unfortunately, different ethnicities, especially people that were a lot darker, were down sort of the pecking order, and naturally a lot of black people naturally do have, especially women, larger bodies, and that's just how it is. It's, everybody is different, and it was seen that if you were black and fat, and a woman, you were right down. And so if you were white and you started to get a little bit fat, there was this sort of moral value attached to it. So it's all sort of dripped down from that, that approach and that view of bodies, really.
And you really do realise how we judge bodies when it comes to actual health. Weight is just one indicator of health. Weight is just one tiny indicator of a wide spectrum of health. I've been every shape and size, and nobody would have been able to define me by my weight, whether I was healthy or not healthy. And I think it's because it's a visual indicator. People always think that means whether someone's healthy or not. And like you say, there's so many cultural connotations, and you realise even beauty, weight, everything is just how we perceive it in different cultures and at what time as well, because that changes as well. So I've got relatives over in Malaysia who put whitening cream on, and then I'd be here putting on fake tan. And it's just bonkers, because it's just because we live in different places and part of different cultures, and it's just confusing. All of us seem just confused because we're being told by industries, and often white male leading industries, how we should exercise, how we should be healthy, and what we should do. But how do we actually not combat obesity, but combat fat shaming? Because often I'm mindful it's language too.
Yeah, and you're so right. The thing is to know that beauty is subjective, and wrongly so, health has become subjective, to other people. And, it's that knowledge of the BMI scale and where that comes from, and how it was never supposed to be a marker of individual health. And it is based on a European white male, and it doesn't take gender into consideration. And I did a real a poll on my Instagram asking people if they related to the fact that the last time that they were healthy, quote unquote, in the BMI scale was when they were starving themselves. And 94% of people related to this, and I had hundreds and hundreds of people voting. And it's very, very telling that we're all striving for this quote unquote healthy marker that people are telling us is healthy. And actually, in order to get there, we're really, 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 some of us starving ourselves. And it's that knowing that there is such a thing as body diversity. We're not all supposed to be the same height. We're not all supposed to be the same color. We're not all supposed to be the same size. And the language that we use, the argument is that it's about health, and it can't possibly be about health, because if you're shaming people, how is that going to help their health? You can't have physical health without mental health.
Jet, my dog, is against fat shaming.
Yes.
Shaming. And I often find, and I know men are not out of the equation when it comes to being shamed and whatnot, but a lot of the stigma I have found is against women as well, scrutinising women's bodies. Unfortunately, men and gender fluid people are now also part of that awful shaming kind of package as well, where they get shamed. But I've really noticed it's how we judge different women and try and subject them to like beauty standards. And I grew up thinking, because I'm mixed race, I always wanted blonde hair, blue eyes, like a kind of slim face. I just always thought that was the right thing, to be petite, and I'm naturally curvy. And all it led to was kind of body dysmorphia and eating disorders. And that was my personal experience. But where do we go from here? How do we talk about weight in a positive way? Or do we just not talk about weight?
I think it's important to take the focus off the number on the scales. And, contrary to popular belief, that's not, a marker of health. There's so many other things that you can focus on that are going to improve, the way that you feel about yourself, but also your actual health. Moving more, but moving in an environment that is not going to feel like it's punishing, or is not going to body shame you. Having a network of people that are going to be supporting you. And actually, looking and researching in order for your own self-compassion as to, the history of diet culture, the history of, beauty standards, and looking at the sort of the patriarchy, getting all feminist now. But, it's when I started looking into all of this, it made me incredibly angry because of all that time that was wasted. But then it also opened me up to that level of compassion towards myself. And I think that's so important for people, in order to then start realizing that their body's not the problem. It's articles like this that's the problem. It's attitudes like this. Because if you look at the comments from all of the people that have read the article, majority of them are not actually commenting on actual health. They're commenting on appearance. And not surprisingly, and are not being sexist, a lot of them are men. A lot of the comments are men, saying how, it's disgusting that there's plus size models promoting obesity. And even one said about a plus size mannequin in a shop advertising exercise clothes. But it's like, well, what do you actually want people in larger bodies to do? Apparently it's about health, but do you just want people in larger bodies just to hide themselves and sit at home and not do anything? Because that's not health. So actually the problem is you and your view, and it just means that people in larger bodies make you feel uncomfortable, and that's entirely a you problem, not an us problem.
That's so true. And I think a lot of it is about division. It's dividing people who from different backgrounds. It's also dividing you from connecting with yourself and your own body. It's making you judge yourself and judge others. And I know from being underweight and overweight, actually, to be honest, I've never been either on the scales, underweight or overweight. Whereas when I was really poorly and emaciated, I was clearly underweight, but I wasn't low BMI. And that's where it's all just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that was when I was poorly. But also, I know that we're going to touch on in the future skinny shaming as well, because there is this whole thing as well. And it does not matter what shape or size someone is. This is about them going on a journey with themselves, which society doesn't want, because that deeper journey means that you don't need all the gadgets and the fads, and you don't need to kind of consume all the crap stuff. You actually can invest in yourself and feel good. And there should be no shame as well in feeling good about yourself and feeling confident in yourself, no matter what your size, because our body goes through so many seasons in life, and it's about embracing those and actually enjoying and celebrating all the time, which is what I love about body image fitness. We just try and celebrate our bodies, and we're all different shapes and sizes, but none of this, I don't even see shapes and sizes myself. And it's only when people like will comment on an article or something, you realise how bad it is. But do you know what? Stay in your own lane and get your club of cheerleaders, and then all that noise can quieten down. Or if that noise does seep through, at least you've got a good group of cheerleaders who are at it together, moving. And that's what I always say to everyone. First step in anything is just to move, because it'll make you feel good.
Yeah.
And that's all I ask for people. Just take one step forward and to move. So how can they find out more about body image fitness?
Body Image Fitness is, you can find it online. So it's bodyimage.fitness. And you can find us on Instagram, body_image_fitness. We'll pop all the links below. But there is also membership doors are currently open. They open and close all the time, just so that we can look after our current members, make sure we're offering everything that they need and they want. So if you happen to come across the website and the membership doors are closed, just sign up to the newsletter, and then you'll be notified when they're open again. And it is a group of cheerleaders. We're all, supporting each other and moving our bodies, talking about body image. There's so many different things that we offer just to help us, reject the shame, and because the shame is just not helpful to anybody.
Your body, your business. Everybody is the perfect body.
Yeah.
That is, and it's about embracing them and celebrating them together. So you can find Kim online at Body Image Fitness and myself at the Sparkle Coach, and sign up. I strongly recommend. But also we'll be doing weekly chats on here. So if you've got any questions, do comment below or find us on social media, and we'll do our best. We'll be sharing these vlogs each week with you. So power to you, peace, love, and shimmies. That's not burlesque squat shimmies or cheerleader shimmies. Thank you.
Thank you.